Hi Tea Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we are checking out 17's Spell, and I am nervous about this, okay? This whole comeback fills me with trepidation, and that was before I checked out Maestro. So because this is performance team, and I know what they're like. And we're doing Dark Teen, and I already struggled like my life depended on it with Maestro. So this just feels it's gonna be a lot. This feels like we're going to be struggling our way through this, and you probably have a better idea than I do of that at this moment because you can see the timestamp of how long this video is. Let's just get into the song because nothing's gonna prepare me. I just have to accept my fate. I don't even want to talk about these photos. I do, but if I talk about these photos, we'll be here in eternity. So I need to just move on. All right, it's fine. I'm fine. This will be totally fine. Oh God. Oh no! Oh Jesus. Like soft synth going on. Ooh, that like echo? Good vocal run. Ooh, okay, a little vocal run we got from June there though. Okay, first off, this like soft synth coming through, I was already like, oh no. I'm still recovering from other songs from Performance Line, okay? So I just need them to like back up a little bit in general. Love that we're getting like a bit of a like lower tone delivery from a lot of them, or at least like a more of a subdued performance. I like that in a lot of their songs, they do a great job of controlling some of that energy, especially once we get into like performance stuff, right? Like one of my favorite things about us getting a performance unit song is that we're gonna get a performance, right? It's always incredible. They do a really good job of controlling some of the energy of the song and like their delivery of the lines. I love all the breathiness that we're getting from it. These little vocal runs or like cries that they're putting in, right? Like a little bit of vocal fry into it. I need them to just calm themselves. Also this, I don't know, like hollow, almost like wood percussion sound is also interesting. Anyway. That was a beautiful falsetto. Hoshi, sir. Ooh, okay, so many interesting things. Like one, I like that we're getting this like very simple chorus from them, which is something that they've done in like previous songs too. And I get, again, leaning into what is this going to be as a performance, right? Because when you're creating something that you're going to have to perform like dance, the kinds of like intricate choreography that we usually get from them, like musicality, I was like listening more into the production of this because they always do really interesting things of what parts of the production that they're pulling from to have those little musical moments in the choreography. So I like that when they're deciding what the vocals are going to be on it, that they're making decisions usually with how are we going to sing this and dance at the same time, right? Because this is good performance team, right? We're expecting an amazing performance from them. Can they do the vocals? Absolutely they can, but they also have to think about, can they do the vocals and the intricate dances that they want to do at the same time? Can they multitask those things? And how do they manage that in a way that will make it something that they can sustain when they're doing, if they have to perform this in the middle of a concert, right? Where they're also trying to manage their energy with the songs they have to perform before and the songs they have to perform after. I like having some of the elements that they're bringing in terms of how they're doing their vocals and the lyrical content that they're choosing. Love all these little vocal runs we're getting in. I like that we're getting into an even like deeper tone for some of the voices going into the second verse. I was talking about about having some of those subdued vocals in the beginning, and we're digging into some of those lower tones even more. Hoshi having a beautiful rich tone at the beginning of his line, and then they have a bunch of interesting things coming in now in the production. Like I was saying before, I always like to see how performance team chooses different like musicality moments, their choreography. So having all these like little interesting sounds and the way that the mixing in one of the synths is like panning back and forth, I'm like, I feel like we're probably gonna have some fun with that. Like the fact that we have this motion in the way that this synth is mixed in the song just lends to the choreography and like the motion that they can build onto that, right, with the dancing and performance side of it as well. Also just love how this has a very dreamy feel to it overall, right? With the name like Spell, it has this feeling of just kind of being like almost like a siren call, right? We have like ocean views and some of the lyrical content of them talking about saying again that like loving you, I want to keep getting to know you, like all these feelings of being like pulled into somebody's orbit and being like enchanted, right? So I like that it has this kind of floaty, airy feeling, like both in the production and with their vocal delivery. I think that it really lends, they do a great job of just having a really like dreamy sound in a lot of them. I think partly because in performance team, a lot of them have these like lighter voices. They don't have a ton of weight to a lot of their voices. They can. I think the exception is like June tends to have like more tension in his voice in general, but he can definitely play around with it a whole lot. Dino can also have a little more weight to his voice, but like overall they tend to have a little bit of an airier sound. So I think that it just lends really well to them sitting in that pocket of having this kind of like dreamy, softer sound, and then letting that kind of help them with some of the performance stuff where they can have this kind of floaty, airy, very like kinetic performance along with the song. I love all the layered vocals too in the back. See that like stuttering synth is interesting. Some fun ad-libs from Hoshi there. Ooh, see, like there, like some gorgeous lower tones from them. And again, like I was saying, we're getting this like airy, lighter tone from a bunch of them. And then when you get into those deeper tones, we're getting some like more closure in their voices, which is also just like really fun. But it's like a more like subdued sound in that it's a bit like quieter, right? Like it feels like some kind of pulling someone into your confidence. I always say that using a bit of a lower tone, because it's harder to project those lower parts of the voice, that it always makes it feel like you're pulling somebody closer into you. And I think that's really interesting with this kind of like push and pull that the lyrical content has, right? This idea of like waves and ocean, of being pulled in and out with the tide, right, of this person. A lot of this was kind of someone like enchanting you, siren's call, pulling you in, like for the performance team, right? And then I feel like switching up into this deeper tone is like flipping that a little bit, because it's pulling in the listener in instead of the other way around. So I think that's just a fun little like back and forth, again, this like feeling of the tides and going into some of this like ocean imagery, which also makes me interested to see what the choreography will be along with this, because I feel like you can play around with that a lot as well. Like it isn't super bass heavy in the production. Beautiful falsetto there. A little bit of a brighter sound there. See more closure to their voices now. I love all the layered vocals at that part. Almost like a chant sound. So we're just gonna play out. Love those keys, are super fun too. That was like a super like dreamy sound to it, honestly, especially like in contrast to like the intensity of Maestro. But I also think that's fun, right? Like this whole comeback, right, is like for a compilation album mostly, and then you have these new songs being introduced. So I think that having even like a drastic shift there between like what Maestro sounds like and then what Spell sounds like is like, hey, we can do a little bit of everything. Definitely makes me feel like we're gonna maybe get a bit of a mix with these unit songs. We usually do anyway, but love the dreamy feeling of that. I also love that it wasn't like super bass heavy, which is actually interesting for a song that is for something like a performance theme, because usually you have a bass and a heavier percussion to like act as that like metronome, that beat keeper, right, in a song. And they do have moments where that comes in, but a lot of the time it's like these synths, these keys, and then you have this almost like wood percussion sound that's like on a much higher end of the like kind of notes, right, that is keeping that almost like metronome sound throughout it, which I think is interesting, like for how they're going to translate that into choreography and a performance. But I think it lends really well to the message of the song, again, of this like very dreamy, spell enchanted kind of sound to the overall song. And like their vocals, I like that we didn't get anything like in like a crazy high range for it either. Like I feel like it opened up that bottom part of the range for their voices to sit instead. And I think that again, it having that lower tone kind of pulls people in, as opposed to having those higher, more powerful vocals. Obviously we had some gorgeous falsettos at certain points, but a falsetto in of itself is a bit of a thinner sound. So having their voices in that like lower part of the range filling in that part of the production, and I think that again it pulls people in because it's a bit quieter and it's a bit more of a conversational tone. It's more in line with what their voices sound like when they're speaking, so it I think lends to that too, of this feeling of daydreaming and being in this kind of like daze, and it has nice feeling to it of again that kind of like enchanted feeling and not understanding why you're pulled to this person as much as you are, but just letting it carry you, right, like being floating on the waves. So I think it's a really fun kind of dynamic within the song to choose that for their vocals. But am I ready for the music video? Probably not. Probably not. I wasn't ready for just like these photos, having to look at them. It was a little bit distracting, not gonna lie. So seeing them like in a music video is gonna be interesting. I feel like this is where the real struggle is gonna be. Are we starting with like tarot cards? Maybe fortunes? Feels like we're starting. Oh my god, look at this fluffy hair. Oh, the eye makeup? Ooh, look at that dreamy landscape. Sir. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, we have a bunch of different versions of the lovers, which is interesting. Again, with the lyric, look at the angelic. It's fine. I had a little bit of aggression creeping up of like, why do you get to be that beautiful? You know what I mean? Anyway, I think it's interesting that we have a bunch of different versions of the lovers, and it's like different iterations of what that means. I'm gonna go back. I don't think I need to explain why I need to rewind and rewatch that choreography. I think we all know why. Like that hand detail in the synth. I mean, for what reason? Ooh, good pass off. Aw, his little smile! Hang on, if you don't like pausing, you're not gonna enjoy this, okay? I just need to go back for Hoshi's little smile. God, the eye makeup is great on them. The double heart. Oh my god. Ooh, Apollo and heart. Oh my god. That's interesting. Okay, no, just previous point. Didn't we have in Maestro 2 where he's like sitting in the hallway, he had like a silver like glittery makeup thing going on, which feels very much like what we're getting in this music video, which I think is fun because I was already thinking in that music video, because we had the time stamp on Hoshi where he was like being like detained by like the guards or whatever at the beginning. I'm like, oh, is that referencing something that's coming out afterwards, because I'm catching up on things. So I'm like, Spell was the next one, wasn't it? So I'm like, could it be when Spell came out? And then having some of that like silvery, almost like metallic makeup on June feels like we're pulling some of that into the Maestro visuals before we get into the Spell one. But the styling on Minghao and June right there, dang. Also, Minghao's silhouettes when he dances, beautiful. Oh my god, sir. Oh my god. Wow. The styling. A+. Thank you to all of the stylists who worked on this. Wow. I like that we have the different kind of vibes though, like colors, the different cards, similar styling throughout them. There's like the chainmail incorporated in it and like the different like blades or whatever. God, the power stance. Anyway, it's fine. I'm fine. Fine. Ooh, I like that cut on the beat. My god. Wait, do we have a frog? Was that supposed to be like for Minghao? I just think Minghao's frogs. See, he was the heart though, not the arrow. Ooh, love that hop on it. Ah! Sorry, Dino smiled, I have to go back. Okay, Dino. The little step ball change. Little shoulder details. Cute too. Like that we're on the beach before. Waves, water and stuff. Dang, this set is cool too. Ooh, Jun. Look at the little look on his face of him being like, I did stand up that elegantly, thank you. Boy, I know you can dance. Dang, the backup dancer's doing a great job too. Don't smile at me like that. This little smile. Put your shoulders away. Ooh, that's fun. The compass. Ooh. Ooh, wait. With the like storm and like definitely like the darker coloring we had before. Ooh, the heart like sculpture in the back. The hands. I'm just trying to look. Okay, so you have the heart. I like that the candles, like the wax is a heart, but then this also kind of looks like a heart. But we have almost like this contrast, right? Like these two different sides of them, because we had with Dino of the two. We had one with June as well, didn't we? I got distracted, to be fair. I was looking at something else. But I feel like we had one. We had like Dino's, we had June's at some point. I don't know if I'll be able to scrub and find it. Where he had the two as like the Apollo, and then we have the heart. We have the, I was gonna say staff, but is that like a match? And then we have the fire, but it's like almost like this duality to them as well. Like the light and the dark. They have the outfits where they have all the chainmail and stuff. Contrast. We have the boat, like grounded. Dino. I need to be less talented at dancing. It's fun to have this like bar as part of the choreo as well. I love the way they're hitting that differently in the choreo each time. My goodness. God, look at him. Every time I pause, I'm like, that could be a background of something. That could be your desktop screensaver. Dang. Like a mixture of the blues and the oranges. But like the way they're hitting the yeah-yeahs differently in the choreo each time. The little like swing hand detail. The dancers are doing a great job with them too. Oh my gosh. Okay, first off, Dino. But also, further than that, can we look all of them, right? Great job with all the dancing or whatever. I like that they're all having different stances, like different personalities. But can we just talk about Minghao's? Okay, not only is it like almost giving JoJo, I said what I said, but also his silhouette is so good for this. Like the use of like negative space and stuff. Like if you filled in his silhouette, obviously I'd want like a slightly better angle for it, but like you could tell the body shape so well because his silhouettes are just so good, and it hurts me, like the talent aggression that I feel about it. There's just something about the way that he chooses the like tableaus of how he like holds his body at different pauses in choreography. Every time I'm like impressed. I need him to calm down. I need to also calm down, but that's not the point. Dino, who gave you permission? Dang. Science, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I liked the little hand detail. I'm not gonna talk about what else was in that. Like, hand in the pocket, and then the lean back. Sir. Oh my god, look at Minghao's styling. With the jewelry. Ooh, the like rapid speed up of the time. Ooh, that's fun too, having the shoulders. We had a fun little shoulder detail that I noticed before, but like leading that movement bent over with the shoulders is also interesting. Whoa, that like call, like the ad lib in the back. Ooh, good little pause. Dang, hold up. Again, to the stylists, thank you for your service. Oh my god. For why? Sorry, I needed a moment. Maybe my heart fluttered a little bit. It's fine. We're fine. It's okay. Sure. I like the way the speed up of time on this landscape, and now we're at night because we're talking about like dreams and stuff. I'm trying to have thoughts. I really am. Don't smile at me, Dino. Not unless you're willing to deal with the consequences of that. What? What in the... What? No. Don't worry about it. Oh shit. And not Dino in the back too. I'm not flustered. You're flustered. I'm fine. I do like their little smiles. Ooh, he got hit both of his wings. Why is there a couch? Okay. Yes, thank you to all the staff for that one. I appreciate it. You did a good job. The styling, set design, choreographers. It took me out like a little bit there at the end. I'm not gonna lie. This part, I'm fine. I'm fine. You know what? Just like looking at it, be like, hey, this around here, there's a little bit of a spike in viewership. I'm like, fair. Because what was that? Even just like with Dino, with this like lean back, this, I'm not gonna click on it. But oh my god, sir. For what? Why are we leaning back casually like that? And then putting that into just like a dance move? And having coached the little like head, no, not smirking at me like that. Absolutely not with that styling. No. Other thoughts. I am interested to know how we're going to translate this to a stage for scientific research, but also because of they have that one bar that they just use different sets, but it is like part of the choreography that they like interact with, which I think is interesting. Like both in that we got to have a bunch of different sets that were part of the music video and how they incorporated it, but it also means that on an actual stage you have one prop and you need to like manage, maybe, unless they're trying to like design it differently so it fits into the different aesthetics or scenes or whatever, but it means that you have one basic set piece that you need to figure out, as opposed to having like multiple set pieces that you're interacting with in the choreography. I didn't need for them to come for me like that though, personally. That was a lot. All of the like metallic stuff involved in this comeback is interesting. That's something. I wasn't ready for Hoshi to be the one to take me out though at the end. That was a lot. It's fine. I'm okay. There's probably a bunch of stuff that I did not fully put together. I feel like there's some other stuff going on because we have the whole thing in Maestro of Mingyu being isolated on his own, and then the person that he was interacting with was Minghao. And then I feel like that is probably pulling forward into some other stuff. Maybe I'm reaching. I don't know. They have some crazy storyline lore stuff in their music videos or whatever. But I feel like there was definitely some like parallels, like duality stuff going on in terms of having the two different cards. These like contrasts between these like really sunny, bright pastel kind of colors and then these like darker night scenes, and having the outfits where they had like the chainmail incorporated into it, right? Like this difference between kind of the softer aesthetic and the more combative or like colder image because of the metal, right? Like the metallic accents is a much colder styling than some of the softer baggy aesthetics that they had for some of it. So I think that's probably a little bit in this of incorporating some of that duality. But I also was just thinking June in this is Apollo, which is a sun god, but he is moon, which is just like an interesting kind of like contrast between those two things. And also like the one wing we've had before, because we had Hoshi with only the one wing on and then he got two, and we've definitely had people with one wing before in previous things. But it was like, I'm thinking Junghan specifically in Hot, where he has the one like metallic wing thing going on. Anyway, there's probably like a bunch of other stuff, okay? That's all I'm saying. And it's difficult for me to get into stuff because a lot of it I have watched not in video form. It's hard for me to distill it down into something that is a little more digestible and that. But no, it was good. It was good. The song, it's like a fun, like dreamy kind of sound, which I think is really fun. I think it's a much like lighter sound that I've heard from Performance Slam before. I may be wrong if I'm not like remembering all of the stuff, but I like that they leaned into that and some of these like different like scenes and outfits and almost this like fantasy feeling to a lot of the aesthetic, right? Kind of leaning into that feeling of a daydream and something that is like not entirely like logical or linear in the storytelling. And the styling was fantastic on it, because if you're gonna have visuals like there are here, you can definitely lean into some of those like dreamy fantasy aspects and they're going to be able to pull it off just fine. So I definitely feel like there's probably some other stuff that I could pull from this later on as I like rewatch stuff, but it was good. And maybe I need to check out like the full choreography, and maybe I need to check out lives or whatever, like maybe just to make sure I don't miss anything important for like research purposes. But I hope you enjoyed listening to that along with me. You can click this playlist to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to me next time I post a 17 reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.